servers are pretty expensive, whereas Hadoop works on commodity hardware. Okay, so what is that? Well, your cost per terabyte of data decreases, or in other words, your cost decrease. That's another reason why companies are getting attracted towards big data and Hadoop, guys. Okay, and very important reason, guys. Existing systems are failing under the growing requirements of 3Vs. As your volume, as your velocity, and as your variety of the data is increasing, what is happening? Your existing applications are failing. Your existing, the complexity of the code is increasing, and companies are unable to maintain that much complex applications. Okay? You understand that one, guys? Okay. Okay. So those are the adoption drivers from a company standpoint, guys. Why companies interested, and these are the things that developers were manually doing today. Hadoop provides. These are the things that Hadoop provides for companies, and these are things that Hadoop provides for a developer, guys. Okay, so what do? You focus on batting and bowling. If you want to drive a car, what do? Just turn the key. Don't worry how the fuel is getting converted to electricity, guys. Okay, everybody okay with this slide, guys? Shall I move on to the next one? Okay, guys. So distributed model, what is it? Well, it's the group of computers. What is Hadoop? It's a bunch of computers, low cost computers, and you give any data to that. What does it do? Hadoop will go ahead and split the data into blocks, and each block is about 64 megabytes, guys. That is what we are indicating here. You imagine that you have a file, you give it to Hadoop, it is splitting it into multiple blocks. Each one is 64 megabytes. Then what will Hadoop do? Hadoop will take each of your block and store it on one computer or on one server, guys. Okay, but the problem, they can fail anytime. In other words, the servers can fail anytime because they're commodity hardware. They're not guaranteed to run. So at this point, if my data is lost, if my block 2 is lost, and somebody requests for my file 1, we can return page 1, page 3, and page 4. But we cannot return page 2. That is not really professional. That is not how companies work, right? So what do? What does Hadoop do? Hadoop will make a replica of every page that you have. What does it do? It will go ahead and save multiple copies of your blocks of data on multiple servers. So at any point of time, if one server goes, we still have the data in other available servers, guys. Okay, what are we doing? We're protecting our data. This is what is called fault tolerance, guys. Okay, and so that is how Hadoop works, guys. Okay, everybody okay with this one, guys? With these slides, can you give me a quick acknowledgement? Okay. Data processing of block can be customized. Yes, customized in the sense the logic in that can be customized, Sandeep. You can write any logic that you want to, but the way it will work is your code will go to these blocks of data and will try to execute. As it executes, if some server fails, again it will try to re-execute on a couple of other servers like that. Does that make sense, Sandeep? Yeah, so yeah. 64 megabyte can be customized. You can even increase it to 128 or 256 also. That's what you're referring to. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you, Sandeep. So some of the companies who are using Hadoop, these are some of the top guys who are already into Hadoop, and they're doing some heavy things, guys. Almost all the big guys are into Hadoop. And how are the blocks identified? Hadoop will internally take care of identification of them, Vivek. But if that doesn't answer your question, let me know. You don't have to identify it, just in case you're wondering if it is done by us or Hadoop. It will take care of that. It will split the data, and it will take care of distributing it. Okay, let me know if that answers your question, Vivek. Okay. And here are the group of companies which are already into Hadoop and doing some good stuff, guys. Okay. And here is who uses Hadoop. Is it storing the metadata somewhere? Yeah. Wherever the block is stored, it will also store the metadata there, Vivek. Okay. We will see that in the next session. I will show you when you go ahead and store a block in a or when you store a file in Hadoop, where it stores the blocks of data and what is the metadata associated with that. That metadata contains some checksum information which allow the clients to verify the checksum if the data is correct or not and things like that. Okay, we'll see that in the next session. Okay, so who uses Hadoop? Let's see what we can get here, guys. From a finance standpoint, in finance domain, you want to protect your company against loss from criminals. What does that mean? Well, here is the scenario, guys. Fraud detection. You have something called securities trading, you have insurance companies, and you have something called credit card processing, guys. Okay, the most common of them is credit card processing. Okay, so imagine you are in a you're using a credit card, and let's say you're in somewhere in Hyderabad, you go to a shop and you make a transaction, you purchase something, a transaction is made. Okay, what happens behind the scenes? This data is getting saved in the database of applications and other log files and things like that, guys. Okay, now let's imagine in the next minute there is another transaction on your credit card which is being recorded, and it says that this credit card is used in a shop in London. Okay, so at, let's say, at 9 a.m. you were in Hyderabad, at 9:01 your transaction is being made from a credit card in London. Okay, what does that mean? Something is not right. What do you get? Well, you'll notice that you will get a call, and they will say, they will try to verify, hey, you know what? We have noticed that there's a transaction which is being made in London right after this transaction in Hyderabad. Is this right or is this not right? And they'll verify like that. What is that? That is credit card fraud processing. How do they detect that? How do they detect that? Well, that is what the big data is about. Okay, what happens is you can analyze your log files, you can get your latitudes, longitudes, and you can kind of come up with logic where you will go ahead and analyze if a transaction is genuine transaction or a fraud transaction, guys. Okay, so that's what we are saying. Credit card fraud detection. Confirm unusual activity, that is referred as unusual activity. The specific techniques differ. The specific techniques differ and are proprietary. In other words, every company will have their specific techniques, but what do they have? They have one thing common. They will have lots of data, because they will have millions and millions of customers. That's lots of data, guys. Okay, from a Hadoop standpoint, what do? Well, you get all the log data from multiple sources and put it into HDFS step one. You can use Flow. Then you pre-process the data. You do pre-processing of the data, make the data using Pig, Hive, Scoop, and all these things. You will process the data. Then you make it available for machine learning. And using machine learning, you can go ahead and identify some patterns, deviant behavior, something unusual, and things like that, guys. Okay, so that is what that is how Hadoop can be thought of as used from this perspective. Okay, gentlemen, ladies, is that making sense, guys? Okay, we'll also look at a few more domains here. In a retail domain, which products will this customer enjoy? Okay, what is happening? Well, come here. Oops, go here, come here. So many sites use collaborative filtering to searches. So in other words, when you go to a particular Amazon site and let's say you're looking for a book called Hadoop, you're looking for a book called Hadoop, okay, and you'll get a bunch of recommendations. Okay, Hadoop Definitive Guide, Hadoop in Action, and so on. Other books is what you will get, guys. Okay, how does Amazon know that it needs to show you Hadoop Definitive Guide and things like that? Well, what Amazon will do is it will see similar users what they have done. Before you, I might have come to that website, I might have searched the Hadoop keyword, entered the Hadoop keyword, and I might have searched on Hadoop. What did I do? Well, I clicked on Hadoop Definitive Guide, Hadoop in Action, and other books. So what will Amazon do? It will treat this as a pattern. Okay, so earlier all the users what were the books that they purchased, or what were the popular books that they selected? Those are the things that they will go ahead and show it to you. Am I making sense, guys? You understand that one, guys? That is called collaborative filtering. Okay. Okay, so that is what is called as collaborative filtering. Netflix is a place where you can order DVDs, and it's a